On this week's episode of Nosebleed Radio, after a short hiatus, we kick off episode number 21 with our famous number 21s. We dive right into the talking points. We missed a big story last week with LeBron going to LA, so we kind of touch on that, talk a little bit of theories about LA and LeBron, how they'll mesh together. After that, I rant about how the Home Run Derby needs to be better. We then hear from our interview with 2015-16 Maryville High School Athlete of the Year, Joe Suchan. He comes on, talks a little bit of World Cup, explains soccer to Shane and I because we're not big soccer guys. After the interview, we hit a couple headlines. LeSean McCoy in the news for not very good things, and Charles Oakley was arrested in Vegas. Find out why later in the show when we wrap up our show with final thoughts. So without further ado, let's roll the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
You're listening to Nosebleed Radio. Here's your host, Tucker Franklin.
What is up? Episode 21 of Nosebleed Radio. After a week off, it seems like it's been a while since we've been back on.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it seems like way too long.
Yeah, too long. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm here with my boy, KB.
How's it going?
By the way, sick shout out on Drake's new album.
KB, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. Cause I want you, and I need you, and I'm down for you always.
You know, people just love me.
Yeah.
He's saying, do you love me? I told him, no.
Ooh. Also, we got Toby Todd.
What's up?
Shane Miller.
Hey, how's it going, Roll Hawks?
And, of course, myself, Tucker Franklin. We're going to go ahead and hit on our famous number 21s. Who wants to start us this week?
I'll go first. I think I'm the only one that only picked one for this week. I already know this is going to piss off at least one member of the Nosebleed Radio crew here, but I'm going with Ezekiel Elliott, number 21 for the Dallas Cowboys. Hopefully we'll have a full season this year, barring any injuries or other suspensions. So get ready to see Dallas having the NFL's leading rusher again, because it's going to happen.
Oh,
I like Zeke because he's from Missouri.
Yeah.
should have went there.
He should have.
Good luck beating Marlon Mack.
Oh, Tobes. Tobes, would you have liked Zeke if he would have went to Mizzou?
Probably a little bit more. He's still, I don't know. He's an interesting character still, but oh yeah, a hell of a lot more than if he had gone anywhere else in the country.
All right. MIZ. KB, how about you go next? Who you got?
My 21 is Colonel Bob Sanders. He was a strong safety that helped lead the Colts defense to that 2007 Super Bowl victory over the Chicago Bears. I don't like Chicago. Like all.
Bears.
Me either. Hate 'em.
Oh, that's gonna alienate our Chicago audience.
Sorry, Chicago. Hate you.
I kind of like you, Chicago. Come on back. That all you got, KB? All right, Tobes. I know. I see you got a few guys down here.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Chicago back into it. Sammy Sosa, you know, he was in that home run battle with that cheater, Mark McGuire. And,
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, boy.
right, no, props to Mark. But, Sammy Sosa, he was dope. One of the best characters on Backyard Baseball 2004.
Yes.
He was on dope.
Yes.
Then I got two running backs. It's been a bad week for running backs, but
We'll touch on that later.
gotta go. Yeah, two of them here though. Barry Sanders in college, Oklahoma State Heisman winner, as well as LaDainian Tomlinson, maybe the best running back I've ever seen in my lifetime. Even though he played for the Rifle Chargers and tore it up there.
Forgot about Kareem Hunt.
Chargers.
NBA, got to go with my guy, KG. He wore 5 in Boston, but 21 in Minnesota, where he won an MVP. And then another 21, Tim Duncan, Timmy D of the Spurs. Just a class act. Great guy. Give him a shout-out on the show.
I'll wrap up our famous number 21s. I have 2015 World Series MVP for the Kansas City Royals, Lucas Duda. He helped seal the win for the Kansas City Royals, little airmail from the first baseman. So, always been a big Lucas Duda guy since he did that. Now he's playing with the Royals wearing number 21. And my last number 21 is 21 Savage.
21.
That's actually, 21 Savage. Have you seen that picture of 21 Savage where he's like dribbling into the lane and he looks like the NBA logo?
No.
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you guys, but it is the funniest thing I've seen in my life.
There's actually a video out there where 21 Savage is playing flag football and gets tackled by another number 21 who's been mentioned, Ezekiel Elliott. So, 21 on 21 crime right there.
Is 21 Savage the It's a Joke guy?
Yeah.
Issa. He released an album about a year ago.
Gotcha.
Because he said, it's a knife.
I don't know much about rap.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm just curious as to why he has a 12-car garage when he's only got 16 cars. Oh.
As you can tell, we are very cultured here. All kinds of culture. You will see later on in the show that Shane even shows off his Spanish when we're talking with Joe Suchan, 2015-2016 Maryville Athlete of the Year. That we have a great interview coming up with him.
That was. It started out as us talking about World Cup, and it ended up just being Joe Suchan explains soccer to two guys who don't watch soccer.
Yeah,
we just
go ahead.
We just alienated our Savannah audience by talking about Maryville sports.
That's
what are we to do without Mason DeVoe?
And Michael.
Shout out Mason DeVoe and Barbo.
Yeah, they're both cool.
We'll move on to our.
That's a stretch.
We'll move. We'll move on to the talking points. Last week we didn't have a show, and there was kind of a big story that happened last week. LeBron James went to the LA Lakers, not the Chargers or the Rams or the Clippers, but LeBron is now looking to star in movies. Now, there's been a lot of people not like him in LA, which if you're a Lakers fan, it's absolutely ridiculous if you're not stoked that LeBron's on your team.
They don't like him, though. Did you see the billboard?
Yeah, they had to paint over it.
They made the LeBron King of LA, and they just spray painted 3 and 6 on it.
Mm-hmm.
That was sweet.
Then they painted over it.
Yeah, because it got vandalized a second time, so the artist was just like, I give up, and just painted over it.
Did you guys also see that LeBron owns this pizza franchise, or owns a majority of this pizza franchise, and then was like, I'm going to go to this pizza party that the Blaze, I think is what they were, going to have. I'm going to go to it, but because they were giving away free pizza, didn't show up. And it's his franchise, so it's like, oh, this dope. That's like him throwing a party for himself and then not showing up.
To be fair, he never said explicitly, I'm going to this pizza restaurant. He said, they're having the free pizza because LeBron's going to L.A. He's like, haven't been to this pizza place for a while now. Sounds pretty good, with the eyes emoji. So people inferred he was going, but he never actually explicitly said. So I'll chalk it up to people in L.A.
Which is just the mark of a bad owner, because if he owns the pizza place and hasn't been there in a while, what are you doing? Go to your establishment.
I'm chalking it to a power move. Power move the people play right away, showed him who's boss. He said, this town is not too big for me. I'm going to do it my way. I'm coming into LA. This is my city. Y'all expect me to be everywhere. Nah, I'm right here.
Also, LeBron posted a video on Instagram of him working out like he always does in his tights and no shirt. And he posted a video of him doing squats, and it had to be the worst form of squats like I've ever seen in my life. No going 90 degrees. He was barely getting 45 degrees.
Ooh.
It was not good.
The squats that he were doing were because he got such a wide base, so that you can't go down all the way. So the wide base is mostly used for strengthening, like the I forget what muscle it was, but like some NBA player tried to explain it, and I was like, okay, like that makes sense when you say it, but now that I'm trying to explain it, it doesn't make any sense.
Get out of here with your facts.
Yeah,
Just hate on him.
Take that for data.
Yeah, take that for data.
I don't know. If I can work out wrong and start looking like that, though, I think we've all got to start trying new and stupid ways to work out at the gym.
Yep.
True. Do you guys think that LA is going to keep Lonzo for the long run now, or do you think he's gone for the next year?
It depends on what they do with Kawhi. Kawhi's the only guy they have to trade for. Because right now, he's the only other big-time name left in free agency, really. Like, there are some guys, Marcus Smart's still out there, but hopefully he resigns in Boston. There's not a whole lot to be had. Clint Capella, perhaps, but, I mean, the only way the Lakers will lose anybody as of now is in a trade. And if it takes trading away Lonzo to get Kawhi Leonard and you're only playing for the short haul, you just got Rajon Rondo, so I say go for it.
I agree.
I saw that the Spurs told the Lakers, like, yeah, we don't want Lonzo. We want... I saw that they were asking for, what's his name, Kuzma?
Probably Kuzma and Ingram.
They were like, Kuzma and Ingram, and the Lakers were like, how about Lonzo? And they were like, no, thank you. Like...
They just don't want the attention.
Circus that goes with it, yeah.
Right, yeah. Shane and I were on the same page there.
Yeah. I saw something that was interesting, at the very least thought-provoking. With LeBron going to LA, there's an argument to be made that Kobe is no longer in the top 5 people to ever wear a Lakers jersey.
How?
Think about it. You got Will Chamberlain, Kareem, Mason Malone, LeBron,
Wait, did you say Mason Malone?
I think
not Mason.
You said Mason Malone.
Karl Malone. Not Mason Malone.
Man.
Karl Malone, Will Chamberlain, Kareem, LeBron, and Magic. Those were the 5 I saw.
I don't know if Mason Malone's ever worn a Lakers jersey.
Wouldn't put it past him.
I think if you're talking just as basketball players who have worn the Lakers uniform, yeah, he's probably pushed out of that.
Yeah.
But if you're just talking about greatest Lakers, like what they play in the franchise,
he's got 5 rings there. But like best basketball player to wear Lakers jersey, Kobe might not be in the top 5.
No, it's crazy. It is LeBron now. Like that's such a storied franchise, and this guy from Cleveland now becomes the greatest player to ever don Lakers gear.
Just walks on. Hasn't even made a basket there yet.
Well, you see, like, he goes to a new team, and the Cavaliers' championship odds went from, like, 3rd to 29th. And the Lakers went from, like, 23rd to, like, 3rd. So that's how big of a difference this one guy makes.
Their odds of winning the championship went from, like, 700 to 1 to 7 to 1. Like, as soon as he wrote his name on the line.
Yeah, that's how good he is.
Pablo Torre today, I was watching High Noon, one of my favorite shows on ESPN. It's not the only show I'll watch on ESPN. But he was saying that he thinks that LeBron went to L.A. to win over what he called third-party voters. So in the debate of LeBron and Jordan, you have those people that are like, Kobe is the best. He went to L.A. to try to sway those guys basically over to his camp.
There's just, at some point, there's an old adage that says you can't argue with stupidity. And honestly, it is just dumb to put Kobe Bryant over MJ or LeBron, in my opinion. The only argument that can be made against LeBron is rings, because he's literally a knockoff Jordan who didn't do as much in any facet of the game. So, like,
he's an offensive player. That's all he was.
Yeah, and you know that
he's like a better James Harden.
You know that Kobe fans are defeated because their argument always used to be Kobe's the best player ever until it became a LeBron versus Jordan discussion, and they said, okay, besides Jordan, Kobe's the best player ever. Like, right there, you know they don't truly believe that Kobe's better than these two guys.
Yeah.
They just have to say, like, they can't even say in their own biased opinions that he's better than Michael Jordan, so.
We'll move on from LA talk. Unless anybody have anything else they want to hit on? I think we pretty much covered most of it.
I hate LA. We'll just throw that out there.
Yeah, LA sucks. Anti-LA podcast.
Dang,
Yeah,
you guys hate too much. You guys are hating on every big market.
It's the classic
Rams-
rivalry.
Rams-
Boston
Rams
and
are
LA.
looking good.
Hate them.
Tucker, Rams suck. Cubs suck. Chicago sucks. LA sucks.
Okay.
Even Loyola Chicago.
Loyola Chicago, on the fence.
Ooh,
Right.
but they're part of Chicago, though.
They can
It's
be
even in the name.
They can be the best of a bad situation.
Okay, I can live with that.
So we'll go ahead and move on. We've covered everything we need to with LeBron. I'll talk about. I wrote a blog. I don't remember what day I published it. Wednesday, I published it. Maybe Wednesday night I wrote it. I published it Thursday morning. But it's about the home run derby, and this is something that really strikes a nerve with me. So you might want to sit down, get comfy, because I'm about to rant about this. The home run derby is one of those events that everyone really looks forward to. A home run derby, I can remember as a kid, me always wanting to be in a home run derby. You know, just the whole aspect of hitting home runs and everything, hitting as many as you can. It's just fun to watch. It's fun to see. It's fun to be in. The environment is awesome. And you have guys in the major leagues who are the best of the best at hitting home runs. But the guys who are in this home run derby aren't the best of the best hitting home runs. You go and look at the top home run leaders in the MLB right now. The highest one in the home run derby is 6, and it's Jesus Aguilar. Granted, Jesus Aguilar can absolutely swing it. He can mash the ball. But I want to see Mike Trout. I want to see JD Martinez. I want to see all these guys who are known for the long ball to be in here, especially these big names. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, two guys who've won it back-to-back years. Those two guys have. I want to see them defend their title, number one. It's always good when you see somebody go and defend their title like Giancarlo Stanton did last year. I think it brought a lot of attention to the home run derby. Number two, those are two of your most marketable guys in the MLB. The league has to be able to market them. And everyone wants to complain about how the MLB doesn't do enough to market their players, but eventually the players have got to do something too to be able to get marketed.
So what's the big reason that these guys aren't going to be in the Derby? Like, why are they staying out of it?
Yeah, a lot of these guys say that it'll mess up their swing, mess up their timing and stuff like that. But if you're a big league ball player,
Why?
If you're a big league ball player, you should be able to adjust. At some
How
point,
would that mess up your swing? Isn't that just basically BP?
You
Yeah.
think that exactly what it is. It's BP.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. A lot of these guys are like, well, I need more rest, which I can understand the rest aspect of it. It's a long season.
Fair.
162 games is a long time to play.
Yeah.
And it just is beyond me why people and players themselves complain about how the MLB doesn't market their best players enough. I guarantee you haven't heard Mike Trout speak for longer than 5 minutes in the whole time you've been a baseball fan. I know I haven't, because they just don't market their best players. But the players eventually have to do something where they can get marketed.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that argument that it messes up your swing, I need some baseball nerd to explain that to me, because I just don't understand what about it would mess up your swing. What are you doing differently in the home run derby that you're not doing normally? I get that you're swinging for the fences, but don't you do? If you're the number one home run hitter, aren't you already doing that? I don't know.
Right. No,
That's confusing to me.
it's good to get that out. That was a good vent session right there.
Yeah, you've been holding that in for a while.
Yeah, I know. I angrily wrote that blog, and it was it was after the roster came out, the bracket came out, and I angrily wrote that blog, and I said, wait a minute, I'm actually going to try to, like, predict this here. Like, I want to actually, that's not the intention of this blog, was for me to sit up on a soapbox and just yell at everybody. Mm-hmm. But that's what it turned into, and so this home run derby bracket is actually very interesting. You've got some guys, like I said, Jesus Aguilar can swing it. Bryce Harper decided he wanted to do it. Everybody but Bryce Harper is a first-year participant, which is an interesting wrinkle, if you want to call it. Air quotes around wrinkle. But you have Jesus Aguilar talking about Rhys Hoskins, and I mentioned in the blog I didn't think Rhys Hoskins was much of a home run hitter. He actually has the least amount of home runs out of this group of 8 guys. He's the 8th seed. Alex Bregman, Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber can mash, but Bregman, has had some bombs. Now in a home run derby where they sort of reward you for length of home runs, this could really help out both of those guys. Bryce Harper taking on Freddie Freeman. I kind of see shades of the Todd Frazier. Now, KB, what year was that when Todd Frazier was in the home run derby?
It was the year that it was in Cincinnati, so right. 3 years ago.
Yeah, because it was before. I think it was before San Diego. So it was San Diego, and then it was Miami. Now it's DC. So Bryce Harper, I kind of see shades of what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen here with what happened with Todd Frazier back in Cincinnati. Freddie Freeman, another guy who can rake, but Max Muncy, a guy who's been hitting a lot of long balls of late. Really busted onto the scene. We talk about Max Muncy a lot more on the Turn 2 podcast. Javi Baez, another guy that can rake. But these aren't... I just look at this bracket, and these aren't the guys you would expect to be in a home run derby.
All right. So, Jesus Aguilar leads the National League in home runs. So he's an obvious choice for that. I get your point that I understand it too. I don't understand why we don't see at least one of the Red Sox sluggers and Mike Trout in here too. The highest total home runs is Bryce Harper, who's got 172. But like that's not what you see. Max Muncy before this season had 5 career home runs. So he's obviously not the name that's going to light up the scoreboards. To your point about Rhys Hoskins. Rhys Hoskins, he made his major league debut in August of last year, and he missed a month with a broken jaw this year. So he hasn't even played a full season yet. He's only played 132 games. He's on pace to hit 39 home runs and 128 RBIs for a full season. So he is a home run hitter, but he just hasn't gotten really the opportunity to play a whole lot yet. Kyle Schwarber, I like the Kyle Schwarber pick. He's a big guy. He mashes. But, I think the home run derby could really mess up Javi Baez's swing if he gets up there and he just swing, because he's going to swing as hard as he can all the time. I think one thing that changed the home run derby they changed in the home run derby, or at least this is what they do on the show. I'm not 100% sure if they do it. But instead of like you got 10 outs, you're up there for, 4 minutes?
Yeah, it's a time instead of outs.
It's a time, so we don't see so that could either help, like the year that Josh Hamilton was up in New York, he hit 20-something bombs.
Right.
He was up there and swinging at everything. So he got tired. But the thing is, these guys want to hit a lot of home runs, so they're up there swinging fast and without much rest in between. So I feel like that could not only mess up their swing, but hurt them. But if you would have asked me at the beginning of the season to predict who was going to be in the home run derby, I probably would have said 2 of these guys, probably Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. And like the dunk contest, it's just a shame that we don't see like these big home run hitting stars, the players that the people really want to see participate. Mm-hmm. We don't see. It would, might be cool if we see like some of the old, like we don't see Nelson Cruz. That he would be really cool to see.
Right. Big
slugger. He would hit. He'd hit like a 600-foot bomb.
He used to do it.
Maybe see Albert Pujols. Little nostalgia.
Dude can still
but instead we're seeing.
Now
we're seeing these guys who don't have a whole lot of career home runs.
Spencer, on this though, because Tucker mentioned earlier about marketing the MLB, and this is the youngest field of all time for a home run derby, which they said yesterday. In a league now that has so much young talent and a lot of really good players on a lot of teams that don't get a ton of press, because Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs hog a whole lot of that attention, is this not maybe seen as an attempt to kind of give these guys a shot on a huge stage to make even more of a name for themselves? Because, Aguilar, by his peers, was not voted into the All-Star game, despite having MVP-like numbers in the National League. But here he's the number one overall seed in the Home Run Derby. He's a huge guy. He's going to hit a lot. You get a guy like Bregman in Houston, who might be overshadowed by a lot of those other great Astros players. He's super young, super talented, one of the best players on one of the best teams in the MLB, and he's going to get a chance now. I don't think he's going to be Schwarber, with that being said. I think Schwarber and Harper are going to make the finals because they're just huge dudes who can hit the ball a long, long way. But I definitely agree with putting some stars in there, for ratings and all that. But it could also be seen as a chance to give some of the younger guys an opportunity to make more of a name for themselves. So,
no, I see where you're coming from. Go ahead, KB.
You look at the bracket. You look at the bracket, and probably, let's see, Los Angeles is probably the biggest market. Chicago's a really big market. They got two guys in there. Houston's a big market. Probably the only guy from a real small market would be Jesus Aguilar or maybe Freddie Freeman. The rest of these guys are from relatively big markets. And I liked in the old days when we would have the AL versus the NL. We got 7 NL players in this right now and 1 AL player. So it's not really the competition that it used to be between the leagues. Like the All-Star game used to determine who got home field advantage in the World Series. So that kind of brought the competition up. It's just interleague play hasn't been the same since the Astros moved over to the American League. Now interleague play is not the same in the All-Star break, and now interleague play is not the same for the Home Run Derby. So it kind of lessens the competition.
Shane, do you have anything before I want to address Toby's comment about the young stars, but do you have anything before I do that?
No, sorry. I accidentally just unplugged my microphone, so I was trying to plug it back in. So I didn't hear what you said, but yeah, no. You guys nailed it.
Yeah, well, I just want to talk about Toby's, the comment about the marketing young stars, which I think is very, you have a very great point there about all these guys are young, but you can't market for the future if you're not marketing for the now. And I think that sometimes people get, especially in baseball, a lot of these coaches, I fall in the same boat when I start to coach. I think, well, what about this next move? What about our game tomorrow? But if you're in a tournament, I hate to compare MLB marketing to a tournament, but you don't have there's no tomorrow. You can't play for tomorrow. You have to play for today. If that makes sense.
That's fair. No, I see what you're saying, and there's a lot of sides to it for the guys who want to compete and the guys that end up putting their name in. Because this tournament, or the Home Run Derby anyway, if we can call it a tournament, it's not really suited for guys guys like a Bregman or guys like a Baez.
Yeah.
But JD Martinez is a designated hitter. I'm not sure exactly how much rest you need when, a fourth of the time you're getting up and you're trotting around the bases anyway when you have to run.
Right.
The designated hitter, this guy is all he does is swing. All he does is swing the bat, batting practice, going to the cages after games, hitting in games. I don't really see where the rest factors in for a guy like that. Judge
He's got a clap in the dugout.
Oh, yeah, maybe his
arms get tired.
Takes to go on the dugout, but
Shakes.
No, because I see it from both sides where, you definitely want to see the bigger names in, because I would love to see Aaron Judge go up against Bryce Harper in the final of a home run derby. Just imagining that is
that
that just gets baseball people excited, because people out in left field, people out in right field, and the third deck are all going to be catching home runs. So, I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But, yeah, I just think it's such an interesting dynamic with athletes and all-star games and how they view them and how they view, like, these competitions. Like, in the NBA, some guys take the skills competition super serious, and other guys, you see them out there, like, just joking around, so...
Mm-hmm. Well, for more baseball content, you can definitely go subscribe to Turn 2 Podcast. KB and I get on there. We talk about baseball every week, especially with this next week All-Star game coming up. We'll have some good takes there. We'll go ahead and move on to our interview with the 2015-16 Maryville High School Athlete of the Year, Joe Suchan. Great interview where he basically just explains soccer to us, but we do get some World Cup talk in there.
A little bit.
Yeah, so here he is, Joe Suchan. We are here with the 2015-2016 Maryville High School Athlete of the Year, Joe Suchan, a man, the myth, a legend in the ranks of us here at Nosebleed Knowledge, a great friend of the program. Joe, how are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great. Thanks for that intro.
Joe, I gotta say, we've had Heisman winners on here. We've had national champions on here before. This has got to be like the most clout we've ever had on the show.
It's pretty up there. I'm with the old Jonathan Bakers, the professional football player who's up there now. So I'm one of the greats, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks for that intro.
Hey.
Reliving the glory days, that's for sure.
I love it. Well, we invited Joe on the podcast because he might be... I'll go ahead and say it. I think you're the biggest soccer guy I know. I mean, Toby's a close second.
The only one I know.
Toby's a close second, but I think Joe has got to be the biggest soccer guy I know, and it's a big time of year for soccer. So we thought, let's talk some World Cup with you.
Let's do it.
All right. So one of the things that a big storyline, England. They were doing that whole "I'm coming home" thing. Had a great run in the World Cup, and they just come. It all comes to just a screeching halt against Croatia.
It's not coming home. Yeah.
No.
Were you an England fan or?
So since I'm a big France fan, actually, and it's gonna sound, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you're saying that because in their final." Toby can attest to this. Since day one, I've been calling France is winning it all. Ever since they lost to Portugal in the Euros, I was kind of upset. So I've been riding their bandwagon. But England and Croatia, I was going for our neighbors across the pond. Definitely going for England. I thought they had it in the bag, but I don't know. They just invited too much pressure on, or they out, or I don't know. Hats off to Croatia, but I wanted to come home.
What I thought was interesting is Harry Kane, been the top goal scorer of this tournament, probably win the Golden Boot. But the moment that he has to seal the game, go up 2-0, he can't put it away in the first half. And it seems like against these big teams, Harry Kane doesn't really show out.
It's Harry Kane's is an interesting fellow. England has had their ups and downs, and I think Harry Kane equally could be tracked against that. Harry has this opportunity, or has this weird trend that he just goes lights out. He scores that hat trick in the group stage, and then you kind of haven't really heard too much of him since. I think Croatia just found a way to kind of I don't know if it was just out of their momentum. Harry Kane's definitely a in the moment type of player. Right whenever England is in the mood, you feel like something's coming, it's there. But that whole entire second half of that game, I don't know. Harry Kane just didn't show up. I think you're right about saying that.
I know I fall in this category of Americans. Shane probably does too. I'm just assuming here that every 4 years that we get big into soccer. And those are about, for 4 years, I watch a hardcore amount of soccer, and then it even carries into, MLS. We talked a little bit of MLS before we came onto the show, even some EPL. I know my favorite team now is PSG, because I'm a big Neymar guy. Big Neymar guy.
Yeah.
I would say every 4 years I watch, a soccer game. I don't know if I would say I get hardcore or something. I think I'm one of those.
As long as it's the final.
Yeah, I watched the final.
I've already decided I'm buying FIFA, and it doesn't come out until September. So, I mean, that's how big into soccer I am right now.
Good. Yeah.
I guarantee that doesn't happen.
You definitely see that a lot with any sport. I saw myself doing it a lot in like the Winter Olympics. I saw a tweet and it was like, if you think you're not going to get on the podium without doing a 720 heel toe split or something stupid like that, you're going to get on it. But the World Cups definitely has its moments. It definitely brings all the attention to it. I think that's a really big opportunity that the United States missed. 4 years ago when they got to the round of 16, everyone was on that train like, all right, soccer's a pretty big thing. It could actually go somewhere. And then as it grew more popular and you start seeing all those young stars, Pulisic, all them start to show their colors and then not to qualify and just kind of have this be one of the best World Cups ever and just not be a part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too because this World Cup has just been so wide open. And it just sucks to think that what America could have done in this World Cup because it's been so wide open.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been insane. You saw all the big names, all the big names got out. Germany upset to Mexico, one of their first games. Brazil out, Argentina out. All those big names. Spain out. I mean, France has been. I think they're ranked like top 7 in the power rankings whenever it first started. So, I mean, they're up there, but they weren't still expected to go as far as they did. So it does kind of suck that our boys in blue didn't qualify.
Do you think we could have done it? Like, do you think we could have been really that much of an impact if we had made it though? Because didn't we lose like Trinidad and Tobago, who has like a population of 12 or something like that?
I think it was up in the air. I mean, you saw Russia, who I think they had the worst winning streak, or I don't think they won a game until like that first game of the World Cup, and they made it to the quarterfinals.
Right. Yeah.
But they cheated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some FIFA scandals going on in there.
What in FIFA? No.
Yeah, FIFA. No.
FIFA is the wildest organization ever because they have that doping scandal going on and they're just like, nah, we'll just sweep it under the rug. Like they're just like, nah, we just won't do anything about that.
Nah. Yeah. How the hell did Qatar get the World Cup?
Yeah.
But
Ooh.
But the United States going that far, I'm not sure. I think they could have definitely had a shot. I think a lot of it was because after they fired Jurgen Klinsmann and they had all those interim coaches that no one really knew what formation, what to expect. It was kind of just like this ragtag team put together last minute. They just hired a new general manager is it general manager? They just hired some new head staff that's now in charge of finding a new coach. So it'll be interesting to see what the United States can pull out and definitely go from there. I know I was just... This is kind of spouting off, but I'm a big Clint Dempsey guy. Old Texas Clint Dempsey, big old, classic American as you can get, tied the World Cup scoring record, and then not to be able to break it in this World Cup. Yeah. Or the national team scoring record, I mean.
Right. It sucks to see. Well, I mean, the women will be in it, and the women are.
Yeah.
The women are.
They're insane.
Yeah. Now I believe because it comes on in 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the Olympics.
Yeah.
But
every
so
2.
When the women came on, that's when I got really into soccer again. Really, that's just my flavor of the month, When soccer comes on, I always try to tell myself that I'll stay on to soccer until the next World Cup. It just never happens.
No.
That's why I told you you're not going to buy FIFA in September. There's no way. That's too far away.
I think so. I'll make it to September. I'll play FIFA for about a month, and that'll probably be it.
Yeah, that's how I do. I always end up buying FIFA. I play it till Christmas comes out, and then you get all that's when they announce all the player of the year and the Ballon d'Or and stuff like that. So that's when all those player packs come out, and then after that it's like, oh, why do I play this anymore?
So you might have to explain.
What?
Say again.
Oh, you might have.
Balloon what?
So
yes. So the player of the year essentially, or player of the world, they get the golden ball, or they call it the Ballon d'Or, like the golden ball.
I thought they literally got a balloon.
No, sorry. No one ever calls it the golden ball. Like, even Americans call it so I'm just used to saying Ballon d'Or.
So you may have to explain this to Shane and I because, like we said, we're not very big soccer guys. I'm not 100% sure when soccer season is because it always, like, especially with the MLS, it always seems like if I look, they're playing.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. It goes on for quite some time, so it starts. I just looked this up, because I didn't know the exact dates, because it goes quite into December, or the beginning of December. It starts in March, so before we got out of school, and then it ends that December. December.
That's the longest season ever. What do they have, 2 months for off season?
And that's just MLS, and you could go into all the big Premier Leagues that you might be playing in the Champions Leagues, so that's more games to your schedule. You might be playing in different cups, different tournaments. That's more games. So it goes on for quite a while.
That's insane.
I did not know that.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then add 5 or 6 months.
Yeah, no. It's so Ronaldo, right? Add that long season, and then he plays in the Championship League's final, wins that. Then a couple months later, you have to go back to you're back. You don't get a break. You're back to the World Cup, and now you're playing. You're playing almost 365. So
that's why Ronaldo is in crazy good shape because you just never stop playing soccer.
Yeah, it's tough. It's taxing. That's for sure. That's why you get all those. It's like players get all those injuries, and you're like, oh, I always feel like they're out all the time. You're like, yeah, well, you're constantly on.
What are your
playing an entire?
What are your thoughts on the whole diving thing? I know that's different countries have different strategies how they use diving and everything, but Brazil's one of those teams that was a big diving team.
Yeah, the whole Neymar. I'm not a fan of it, honestly. I mean, obviously, if you get fouled, if you go down in reason, I think there's some people try to sell it. I don't think I have a problem with you trying to sell the foul at all. I mean, obviously, if it's there, if you get tackled, and you're gonna fall down. But if you just barely get touched, don't go flying off like you just got hit by a train or something. I remember our soccer coach in high school would always be like, all right, you're not wrestling or anything, get off the ground, get off the mats. So he was never a fan of it, and I think that's just kind of carried on to me. This takes a lot of time out of the game.
Also,
I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you can go ahead. I'm gonna look it up.
Well, I was thinking about this. They add stoppage time at the end of each little half. Why don't they just stop the clock?
Yep, I also was wondering about that.
I don't. That's just a style of the play. I'm pretty sure they've talked about going in various different ways. There's how they added the virtual assistant referee or VAR this World Cup or this year. I know in high school, and I don't know if they do it in college or not, but in high school they stop the clock anytime there's an injury. There's no added time. I just don't think. I think it's just one of those traditions that I don't think is ever going to get changed. I think they're just going to keep it the way it is. Kind of flow the game type deal.
I have another question about the general rules of soccer. So you can't use your hands, right? Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So why don't you just pick it up with your elbows, run over to the goal and just toss it in?
It's counted as it's counted as anything from your shoulder. I guess probably you could say your elbow or shoulder, elbow down. You see players a lot of times use their shoulder to chest bump it off them. As long as your arms are kept in a natural position, so you're not flailing your arms up in the air to catch a ball, or if something hits you and your arms are at your side, I mean, you don't physically have enough time to react to that to move your hand out of the way. So it's within reason. Obviously, you can't go.
Yeah.
If we go back into the golden days, one of the arguably best players, Maradona for Argentina, he literally punched a goal in, the hand of God. So I think, yeah.
Another dumb question off that. Why don't they just take two guys and sandwich the ball in between their chests, have the rest of the team circle them, and then just walk down the field and walk into the goal?
You're thinking about this too much.
I was gonna say, I've actually back.
I think I'm just thinking outside the box.
Back in middle school in those days, I always thought about that. Why don't you just have one person dribble the ball and the other people surround him, and then you can't just touch him? I think you would just get cleated, or someone would go for a tackle of the ball since it's fair play, since it's just there. I think one of you guys would get hit. I mean, I'm sure you could take it, but I don't think all of us.
Yeah.
I guess that reminds me of something I saw on Reddit the other day. It was on NBA Reddit. They were talking about how come just they don't get 4 people on Golden State just to surround Steph Curry, and so Steph Curry can just take 3-pointers. I mean, you can't explain it that's technically illegal, but just the game, you just don't do that.
I was gonna say, if you lose that ball, you're just you're countered. That's an automatic basket or goal or whatever sport you're playing.
Right.
Here's another out of the box thought I had. Don't know if it's legal or not. Okay, so let's say your team scores, so you're up 1-0 early in the game.
Yeah,
Why don't you just pull the rest of your team, replace the team with goalies, and just have 10 goalies in front of the goal so they can't score anything, and you win 1-0.
So you see a lot of teams. I'll address the. I'll start with this. So there can only be obviously one goalie in the game, right? You can only have one quarterback.
Is that a rule?
At a time. Yeah. So you
They
can only have
thought
one
about
guy in the field. Yeah. But you'll see a lot of teams get one up and then play defense the entire game. Let the other team just onslaught wave after wave of offense, but a lot of times you see that not work out too well because you just get people taking long shots, and eventually one of those shots are going to go in. So teams do it. My team, Manchester United, they always get hounded on for doing park the bus defense as soon as they're up. They just kind of play back sometimes, but it just depends. But back to that Neymar thing, I just looked it up. Neymar spent a total of 14 minutes on the ground on his time on the field. So
That's in a 90-minute game. He spent 15 minutes of it on the ground.
yeah. Or I don't know. I don't know.
He's one of the world's best too.
I don't know if that's the entire
The entire tournament or just one game?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Still, if that's the entire tournament, that's a long time.
No, yeah, that's an insane amount of time.
That's a long time for the best player in your team to be rolling on the ground and not really
Yeah.
contributing.
Yeah. I mean, he has gotten fouled the most amount. Out of all the players in the tournament, they got fouled. I guess I haven't checked it since Brazil's been out. But when they were still in, he was the number 1 most fouled player. So I mean, he did have the most excuse to be on the ground, but still, that's kind of excessive.
Another thing I don't get about soccer.
Sweden was just hounding him.
Yes.
Say again? Oh yeah, Sweden. Yeah, Sweden and Mexico were hitting him pretty hard.
You were talking about the fouls. This is another thing I don't really get about soccer. Is it seems like that the referee just gives out yellow cards whenever he feels like it. Is that the rule?
So you're supposed to give out a yellow card if it's an dangerous play, or say it's teams on a counterattack and you blatantly trip the guy to stop the counter. That should be yellow. Sometimes you'll see if a game starts getting out of hand and players are you can tell there's about to be a fight coming on. Sometimes a ref will give out yellow cards just to maintain their dominance in the on the field. So in case they don't want anything to get out of control. So a lot of times if someone comes in and makes an obvious foul out of rage, or everyone's had the red that tempered moment that you're just tired of the game and hit somebody because you're not all the way in it. So ref will come over and give you that card to give you that warning to calm down.
Okay, I got a good question. Who do you think would win in a fight? Hope Solo or your average NFL punter?
NFL punter, I think.
Really? Hope Solo's kind of...
Yeah, Hope Solo's...
pretty aggressive.
She's aggressive, but
Hope Solo's got a couple charges on her.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But
she doesn't back down.
That's a tough one, because goalies take a beating, but
yeah.
I feel like an NFL puncher, you've seen some punchers lay out some...
Pat McAfee.
Some other players, so... I don't know.
I have another soccer question before Shane gives out more hypothetical questions.
Okay, yeah.
So I've always operated under the thought that if you slide tackle and hit the ball first, you can pretty much do whatever you want afterwards. Is that true?
Yes and no, to an extent. So they started this new rule: if your cleats are up, no matter what, if you hit the ball or not, and you leave them up whenever you kind of make contact with it, that it could be a foul against you. But yeah, if you hit the ball and they don't jump over you, or if you get the ball cleanly and they happen to just not pick up their feet and you take them with you, majority of the time the ref's not going to call it against you because you made a fair play in the ball. If you blatantly keep two arms up or something and try to hit the guy as you make the play, you might have it against you. But within reason, you can basically do whatever you want. I don't want to say you can get away with whatever, but if you get the ball cleanly, odds are you're not going to get called for a foul.
Shane, do you have any more questions you want to ask him before we talk about the World Cup final?
Yeah. So, hold on, I'm trying to Google this right now, but my computer's stuck. What year does the USA have the World Cup?
2024.
6.
I'm not good at math. Not a math guy.
You're good. Yeah, 2026. So the U.S. will have a three-way, if you will, with the United States, Mexico, and Canada.
So, since we are hosting the World Cup, don't we automatically qualify?
Oh yeah.
So
hot take is the U.S. the best soccer team in the world right now because we already qualified for the World Cup in the future?
Well,
we're
gonna play that game. Mexico and Canada already qualified too, so we'd at least be the third best.
No, we're
team.
top 3. I'll take that.
Top 3. Yeah.
How long has it been since Canada's been in? It's been a hot one. Quick Google search. Quick Google search.
Last time, it looks to me the last time they were in it was the 90s? Maybe? Let's see, I'm going through their they've been in a lot of Gold Cup games.
Have they ever won a World Cup?
No.
Do you know? Ooh.
No.
But Canada's good at lacrosse.
They are.
I thought you were going to say hockey.
They are also good at hockey. World Lacrosse Championships are on right now, too.
Yeah, I think 1986 was what's popping up.
86?
Hey, so every 20 years. They're in every 20 years.
Yeah.
Or 30 years. Oh, shit.
We're not math guys. Yes. Not math guys.
40 years. 40 years. Damn it. 40 years.
Not math guys.
Damn it. Every 40 years. Well, I was going to say, there's some teams, yeah. Canada is...
Not good.
I think they're a worse United States, essentially.
Wait, do you think...
a lot of those Canada leagues are in the MLS, like Toronto and...
Right.
The White Vancouver.
Do you think that America will ever beat Mexico in Mexico?
I think so, yeah.
Ever's a long time.
The last game we played in Mexico, I think we tied 1-1. And that was a very big game. Michael Bradley had an insane 30, 40-yard chip past, I think Ochoa was playing in goal that game. So I think we definitely can beat Mexico at Mexico.
Would you say that Mexico has a really good Casa field advantage?
Yeah, undoubtedly.
We're cultured.
No. Even when they come to the United States and they play in any of the games in Texas, it's honestly a close home game for them too. Any game in the United States or Mexico is being so close. I mean, I guess the United States is huge, but having that literally just you don't have to take a plane. You'll see a lot of more supporters for United States, Canada, and Mexico in the World Cup, just like you see a lot more supporters for Russia because they don't have to travel. I mean, you have to travel, but it's a hell of a lot easier to get a plane ticket to LA than it is to get a plane ticket to Russia. So.
That is true. Not easy to get a plane ticket to Russia. We'll end the conversation with World Cup final talk. It happens on Sunday. Episode comes out on Friday. You already said you're a big France guy. I think I'm on the France bandwagon, just with Mbappe. Guy's a stud.
Isn't their mascot the Cox?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a cool mascot.
Yeah, the Blue Cocks.
Mm.
Yeah, no, big France guy. I've got them winning. Mbappe, yeah, you're telling me, stud. I think he's 19. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's 19, and I'm like, this kid's younger than me, tearing it up in the World Cup, like doing what any other kid would dream about doing.
Yeah. But I think the thing that really surprised me is how good Croatia was. Since they were a small country, I just kind of expected them not to be good.
Yeah. No, I think what are they, 4 million people or something like that? I think they're one of the smallest nations in, and I think what holds them together are all their players that play in big name leagues. Obviously, Madrid for playing for Real Madrid, huge guy, and then Mandzukic scoring that last minute stunner against my neighbors from across the pond. But they've got quite a few guys that are just playmakers that can really hound through it all. I think what scares me the most facing them against France is the fact that they've been in about every situation you could be in the World Cup. They've been ahead and have people coming back and tie it. They've been behind against England and come back and won it. So mentality-wise, they are at their top of the game. The only thing I mean, France obviously on paper, if you line up player for player, I think France has a better team. But France just plays with such like that's going to sound like cliche, but like such a swagger that they're just like hard to beat. Like when Mbappe's not doing well, you got Pogba, Griezmann, Matuidi. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that
They're stacked, for sure.
Who do you think? Who do you guys have winning the? Who do you guys have winning?
France.
Got predictions out here?
I think I'm just France. Because they're good. I like them because they're good. PSG, that's my squad. Paris is in France. Mbappe plays for PSG.
He does. Neymar.
As of right now, he plays for PSG.
Yeah, there's been rumors of slight rumors that he's one of the people on Real Madrid's replacement for Ronaldo to find that new. I watched a video that I think Fox Sports made it, but they were talking like top 5 people that could be that Real Madrid could invest in to build their new team, and it was like Mbappe mixed with Bale, like that.
Ooh.
Bale, Benzema, and Mbappe. It's a tough 3 to beat.
Yeah, I'm taking Croatia 10-9 in overtime.
10-9. Oh my god.
That'd be a wild extra time. What if it's 1-1 going into extra time and it ends up 10-9?
10-9. There's no defense. It's an all-star game.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome.
Oh, this just came to my head. What do you think about PKs, Joe? I know you're a traditional soccer guy. I am a big fan of penalty kicks to end a game. I don't know why they're not done at every game.
So I'm going to give you my prediction first. I think it's going to be 1-1. I think it's going to be a tie game going into overtime. Actually, hold on. Can I take that back? I think... hold on. I'll answer the PKs first because I've got so many things running in my head right now. PKs, I love him as a fan, hate him as a player. They're so nail-biting to watch, and obviously that's something you want to see every game, go as long as you can. But sometimes you see the better team lose just off PKs. You make one, 2 mistakes, your goalkeeper makes a right save. Next thing you know, Russia's beating Spain to advance in the World Cup. I know Russia obviously battled it out with Spain and had a tie game, but if you were to do a playoffs like the NBA do rounds, best out of 5, I don't think Russia wins too many more games. Yeah. So you see, championship.
It's kind of cool because that's like Russia's reward for playing harder than they should have been, and Spain's punishment for playing down to a team that beat. No, yeah,
I think it's nail biting. But if I was if you're going to go into that game, I mean, I obviously in my bracket I had Spain winning that, but I don't know. I enjoy it. I love it.
Up, like March Madness?
Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah.
We missed it.
I did not do it.
Yeah. No, but
I think there should be like a shootout or something in every sport.
a shutout.
That'd be awesome.
Ties.
Some sort of shootout, yeah. For football, if it's tied, both the quarterbacks get on the 20 and they throw at the goalpost until one of them hits it.
Ooh, let's think of field goal contest.
That'd be insane.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Home run derby.
Like a game,
You just keep backing up.
a game
Oh
of
my gosh, that would be the coolest way to end a baseball tie.
Home run derby.
Instead of going for like 6 hours and 17 innings, let's do a home run derby to end the game. That'd be sweet.
That would be
Yep.
insane.
Yep, I think we just solved the world's
big sports.
problems. We solved
Just-
all
yeah.
of them.
All right. I've got my predictions for the World Cup.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah.
All right. I have France winning in regular time. All right.
Mm.
If they go to stoppage time, then I think Croatia is going to pull out the win. Unless they go to PKs, which I know sounds like all kind of like ifs, but I think Lloris, France's keeper, has been playing too well, and I think he's going to make some key saves in that penalty shootout. The reason why I have Croatia winning in overtime is just because they've been in that situation before, and as if you do it once, you know you can do it again, and they've already. And you see it time after time. This is just me nitpicking teams, but since Croatia's already been to 2 or 3 overtimes in this tournament already, every single time, Mandzukic and Modric and Rakitic, all the key players seem to just gain an extra life in overtime and just like keep running at the defense. And I think France is going to be able to take that after 90 minutes plus 30 minutes of stoppage time. So
Yeah, I think France loses. I think Croatia wins pretty big because you know what they say: when the going gets tough, France surrenders. So I expect them to surrender at halftime.
they just don't walk out. Jackie, your team disqualified. That's fine. We're going over.
That's a good stopping point right there. That's a good quote to end on. Joe, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Anytime. Love to talk soccer.
See you in 4 years.
Yeah, see you in 4 years.
Big thanks to Joe Suchan for coming on the podcast. Kind of in a pinch and talking about some World Cup soccer. Definitely have to have Joe on again when it comes to another soccer time. I'm still not 100% sure when soccer time is.
It's like the whole year. Remember, we just talked about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, when is a big soccer event? When is the next big soccer event besides the World Cup?
I don't know. Women's World Cup, maybe? There's too many.
No, so like
You named one other thing.
in America, there will be the MLS championship, which we can go to because Sporting KC will be in it.
All right, fine, let's go.
And then after that, be
It's like
a lot
one
of
thing, 2 things. Too many to count.
I told you I'm not a math guy.
No math, guys. We'll move on to. We got a few topics to wrap up the show. We're gonna try to end this on a light note. This right now is not a light note, though. LeSean McCoy might be the worst in the running for the worst human being alive.
He's up there.
Him and OJ.
All I gotta do is make an anti-Semitic thing, and then he'll probably take the lead.
So, if you haven't heard the story about LeSean McCoy, he hasn't done a lot of good things of late, to say the least. Has a history of domestic abuse, which is never good. He beat his dog. He beat his son.
For like peeing the bed.
Right.
I was like, you wonder why your kid's peeing the bed? You beat the shit out of him. That might be why.
Yeah, maybe he has
Probably
kidney
scared.
damage. Oh, they said he
Yeah.
beat his dog into kidney failure, which everyone was like, all right, that's not okay. And has the NFL done anything about this yet?
See, that's the thing I'm shocked about, because the NFL has been so, like, overzealous with punishing people. Like, they did with Zeke. Like, they gave him a 6-game suspension for when there was no evidence found against him. Now, having said that, I'm pretty sure he did it, but that's another thing. But they didn't have any evidence against him. There's, like, physical evidence with pictures here against LeSean McCoy, and they have not said a word. And they're still reeling from the Ray Rice incident where there's, that video of him knocking his girlfriend out in the elevator and then dragging her out. So you would think the NFL would be all about trying to make their image better. I don't think they're good people, mind you. I don't think they really care about his girlfriend that much as a person, but I do think they care about their image a lot. So I'm shocked they haven't said anything to try to make themselves look like better people. So I don't know. Maybe we're just seeing the NFL's true colors right now and them not saying anything.
I just read something as we were recording this that LeSean McCoy's ex-girlfriend told police that she believed that McCoy set her up for a home invasion that sent her to the hospital after she was beaten.
I'd believe that. I mean, the guy's not a good dude.
Yeah, there's a reason his nickname's Shady.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the NFL is just waiting for, like, all the proof or the whole story to kind of unfold. But with that being said, I think an easy course of action is to just give him the old Coach K. Suspend him indefinitely. Then if it turns out that the story's, like, fabricated, which I highly doubt this is, because
no way.
Like, we saw the picture and all that. But if the story's fabricated, then you can just be like, all right, you're immediately reinstated. But, yeah, no, this is a horrible look for McCoy. If
at the very least,
found to be true, I don't know if I'd actually allow him back in the NFL at all.
I wouldn't either. That's against their code of conduct policy.
He kind of has like a Mike Vick, Ray Rice, Adrian Peterson thing kind of wrapped up in one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
which if you're comparing running backs and you say that, like, that's dope. But if you're comparing off the field, that's really, really bad.
You can probably throw Roethlisberger in there too. I'm pretty sure he's just based off his character. It would not shock me if like a sexual assault or rape allegation came forward also. But you'd think that the NFL would at least say something to the fact of like, we are conducting an investigation. Not saying that he's like in trouble or anything. But say like, we acknowledge that this has happened and we're looking into it. You know, they literally haven't said anything yet.
The NFL just really just stumbles all over themselves, and it's almost comical, but it's really cringy.
It is. Like, how the hell are these grown-ass men not able to see things that, like, you could tell a 10-year-old this, and he'd be like, well, they should probably look into it. You know what I mean? Like, it's common sense stuff.
Is it weird that it's like the string of off-field behavior that's been like super poor has been a lot of running backs, like the abuse.
Yeah.
Like, is that like a trait that you have to play the position? You have to be kind of like a ruthless guy to be a running back? Because it's kind of weird how they're, like, I don't know.
You don't hear a lot of, like, offensive or defensive linemen, well, Greg Hardy excluded, about...
You hear a lot about defensive linemen. I think
offensive linemen. You don't hear a lot of offensive
Josh
linemen.
Brown.
That's offensive linemen and quarterbacks are the two smartest guys. Well, I guess there's a lot of linemen, but two smart
backs. I think running backs really get praised for being, you know, your hard-nosed, workhorse, tough guy football players. You know, if they're running over guys or around guys, so they're really expected to be some of the best athletes on the team. They have that kind of like alpha male mentality. Mm-hmm. So I mean, this is all speculation. I have no idea if this correlates or not. I'm just connecting dots here.
We aren't scientists.
That could be why you see a lot more running backs than, especially offensive linemen. Offensive linemen, I feel like, are the nicest guys in football. Like, they're there to protect the quarterback at all costs. You always see them like sticking up for the quarterback whenever someone takes like a late shot on them or something. They're always the one helping guys up. But they're still, I think, some of the most competitive guys on the team.
I think they have a more aggressive position than the running back does, though. You are literally hitting someone every single play. If you're a running back, sometimes you don't even hit somebody on the play.
Yeah, but you're only hitting them to protect people. You're not hitting them to attack people like a running back does.
Right. I'm just saying, like, I think the aggression... Well, obviously the defensive linemen are way more aggressive than offensive linemen, but... It's just not good. Not good. We'll file that under not good.
I think it's just some people suck. I don't think there's like any like, because Josh Brown is also a bad person, and he was a kicker, and he got hit on almost 0 plays.
Yeah.
So I don't think I mean, maybe there is a little bit of a correlation between positions, but it's just some people suck, and they're just scumbags of people. And so, like, yeah, I mean, Josh Brown sucks. Shea McCoy. Yep, there's proof. You suck, man. I mean, there's just like no other way to go about it.
We'll take a lighter turn here. I said we were going to end on a lighter note. I guess people getting arrested isn't really a light note, but this story, it makes me laugh because Charles Oakley, just like that. It makes me laugh just like that. Charles Oakley was arrested for gambling fraud. The story goes that he was gambling in Vegas, obviously what you do and when in Vegas, you know, do what the Vegasians do. I don't know if that's how it goes. But so he was gambling. Sure. I think they said it was blackjack. It didn't look too good for old Charles Oakley. You know, when you place a bet, he thought it was going to be good at the beginning. You place your money down, and as the tide started to turn not in his favor, he slipped $100 chip off his little bet stack. And he said, I don't want to give this
take
up.
It back.
I take that back. And
well,
I know.
Is it like chess?
No.
Like where if you leave your hand on it, you can take it off?
Yeah. I think he let it go. I think he took his hand off, and he decided that he wanted.
Shit, he's screwed.
Yeah, and he wanted that $100 back so bad that he was arrested and accused of cheating in Las Vegas. But you know that these like Vegas security guards, especially in casinos, are just waiting for people to do this. But then when you go up and see a guy like Charles Oakley, you're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna need a couple more bodyguards to take care of Charles Oakley here.
I think it's funny because, like, what's $100 to either Charles Oakley or this casino? You know, what I mean? Like, that's like 50 cents to either one of them.
Right. The thing is I know from personal experience. I've been there. I have laid down a bet and just thought, when the game starts, man, I wish I could take that back. How could I be so stupid to put that down? And everyone who has done that has been in that situation. And no one's done it, but Charles Oakley just did it.
Yeah.
I think Charles Oakley just likes being escorted out of buildings by security.
Yeah.
Making a habit of it. I don't know, like, I just watched The Hangover a few nights ago, all-time classic.
Good movie.
And when Alan and Phil were there, and they were committing gambling fraud, Stu's hooker wife faked an injury, and it allowed him to slip out with all the money, all the money they had won. So
good for her.
Yeah, no, real team player. You know, Charles Oakley just needed a fall guy, literally.
Yeah,
somebody to fall off their seat and have security guards to help them, because it worked in the movies.
Charles Oakley reminds me of the New York Knicks, which reminds me of my decision for my favorite basketball team. The Decision. I don't know who had that. I don't think that title's ever been used before.
No, I think you're good.
I think I'm the first one to use it. The Decision, Dallas Mavericks, New York Knicks. Decision coming Friday, July 20th. Next week, I think, right?
Yep.
Next Friday. When you're listening to this podcast, I'll have a favorite team. Wait. Will I?
No. Next week.
When you're listening to next week's podcast, I don't think I still will have a favorite team. Because we'll record on Thursday. My decision's coming on Friday.
Oh, I thought you were going to release it in the podcast.
Oh. Maybe I will. Who knows how I'll release it.
People have to listen.
Yeah.
No one knows what's going on.
Yeah, people got to stay on their toes. Look at social media. You turn notifications on. You never know when it's going to happen. Just like college football commit. Never know when he's going to subscribe. Never know when he's going to commit, so you gotta keep your eyes open, keep your ears peeled. Anybody got any final thoughts? Shane, you got anything?
Yeah, I think I've said this before, probably once or twice, but I'm super stoked for football to start. Scott has our camp next week. We're getting ready to start that again. It's just, you can feel it in the air when you're walking around, you know, that just like you can almost like smell it, like, oh, football's coming. It's right around the corner. I've been watching All or Nothing like crazy. I flew through. The Michigan won. Shout out Jim Harbaugh. And then the Dallas Cowboys won. I'm now rewatching Friday Night Lights for like the 30th time. Super pumped for Hard Knocks to come out and the next season of Last Chance U. So I just can't get enough football right now. I'm like itching. Like you ever see your dog when you come home? It's in the kennel. It starts to freak out because you know it's about to get let out and go outside. I'm like that dog right now. Like I can't do anything about it really, but I am just like jumping around inside my kennel.
Yeah, good analogy.
Thanks.
We may not be math guys, but we're word guys.
Yeah, I'm a big time word guy.
Big word guy.
No, I'm not a word guy.
Hey, Toby, you got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And it's about the World Cup. And as anybody who listens to the show knows, I was cheering super hard for England. And, well, we lost to a nation that has 4 million people in Croatia. So, basically, like, a country composed of, like, a few boroughs in New York City. And that sucked. But, I guess my final thought on that would be 4 years from now, when we still have this podcast and we've hit it big time, just remember that I said right now that England is not just going to make the finals, but they're going to win the finals. They were the second youngest team at the World Cup this year. And I know France is the other. They were tied for second youngest, and they're actually in the finals.
And Nigeria
but we're not
is the
gonna
youngest.
But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to focus on 4 years from now when England wins the whole damn thing. So I'm making my prediction now. I'm going to put chips on the table. I'm not going to pull them off like Charles Oakley. 4 years from now, we're doing it. Go 3 Lions.
KB.
I am all in on... Okay, I'm going to restart this sentence. I read this stat today that the Bartolo Colon was making a start against the Red Sox. And the stat was that the Red Sox coaching staff had more career hits off of Bartolo Colon than their actual lineup did. So just the fact that he's had this lengthy career and has no signs of slowing down, he is peak athleticism. And I hope that I have this long of a career with Nosebleed Knowledge. I hope Nosebleed Knowledge has a Bartolo Colon of careers.
Nothing
minus,
but the best.
Minus all the children with different women.
And the steroid allegations.
Yeah. Good call.
Good
call.
Well,
I guess it doesn't matter if we use steroids.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, let's start doing steroids.
All right.
Yeah, performance.
Let's do it.
Talk.
I got a big enough head.
All right, moving on. My final thought is the 2018 hang on, an ad popped up, so I don't have my thoughts anymore. I'll cut this out.
In your head? Or?
No, like an ad pops up in my head, yeah. What the fuck? Where did it go? Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
My final thought is that the 2018 World Lacrosse Championships are underway in host country Israel. Jerusalem is one of the host cities playing. I watched today the United States play the Iroquois nation, and they won. Go USA. USA has...
Did you say the Iroquois nation?
Yeah, they played the Iroquois.
Wasn't that a Native American tribe?
Yes! And the United States beat them.
They're still around?
I guess so. They're keeping them alive.
That's pretty
holding up.
Wild. Well,
yeah.
Wasn't that in America, though? How did we play ourselves?
They're their own independent thing.
Technicalities.
I think the Iroquois might... Or are they up in Canada?
They were like in Ohio and Canada. Like starting in Ohio up to Canada.
Maybe we're playing the Canadian Iroquois.
But going off Canada, Canada has a very good lacrosse team. They actually won the last, I think, 2 World Lacrosse Championships. The United States has finished second the last 2 years, and I will just not accept if we finish second to Canada again.
Yeah, I don't like finishing second in Canada. It makes me feel bad because then they're like, "Oh, sorry guys, we didn't let you win there. Here's some maple syrup to make up for it."
Mm-hmm. So let's hope that the U.S. can pull out a World Lacrosse Championship dub. There's a lot of different rules in World Lacrosse, I guess, in the NLL. The NLL is indoors, which is I'm probably going to have to start watching. It's going to be the next thing I hop on board with, my next fad, because lacrosse is the sport of the future.
Agreed.
All right, I think that'll do it for this week's episode of Nosebleed Radio. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at NosebleedSnow. Like us on Facebook, Nosebleed Knowledge. We'll have a live show, I think, minus Shane. I think KB, Toby, and I will all be in one central location. We're going to have that live show, and we'll have Shane Skype in. So 3/4 of us will be in one central location for the taping of the episode next week. Hopefully, it'll be a doozy. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you on the flip.